Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Two Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. We're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Two Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Two Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actor, writer, director Adam Fox with me. So welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the program. I watched the first episode of Holiday Shift last night. Really good.
It is really good. I'm not in the first episode, but
I
it's still
know.
really
I
good.
was looking for you, but I
Yeah.
know you're coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize that it was already out on Roku. And
Yep.
then just coincidentally saw the ad come across, and I was like, hey.
Oh, there it
I
is.
got
So
this
you had
interview with
Roku
Adam coming
already.
up. I'm going to check out the first one. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. How many episodes is it going to be?
5.
Yeah, I thought it was it reminded me of a few years back, Dennis Leary did one called The Moodies. And it eventually became a show, but they started as just a 3-episode Christmas, event to it was
Yeah.
like a pilot, but it basically launched the show. And this kind of reminded me of that, just a limited series, but everything goes well, and I think it will. Maybe it becomes a regular series.
Yeah, I hope so. I can definitely see it being that for sure. And it could be with the characters, wouldn't only have to be Christmas. It could be any holiday.
That's right. Yeah, you can do
Yeah.
anything with it. So I
Yeah.
want to talk more about that. But before we do, tell me a little bit about what got you into the entertainment business. Why'd you want to be an actor?
Sure. I would say actually in my kind of mid-20s, I was sort of unsure of how to go forward or what I wanted to do with my life. And I had been doing modeling, and I thought, oh, I'll just take an acting class. How hard can it be? And I would say I took the
Famous
acting
last
class.
words.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh my goodness. I actually just watched an acting class first, the one I was thinking of joining, and it was so intense. But I kind of just made the measured decision that like my life would be more kind of vivid and exciting if I follow this path, regardless of how successful I was. It would mean that like I'd be in touch with my emotions. I'd be doing something creative, and it would use my skills in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what the 20s are for, is to kind of figure
Yeah.
out, a direction and what it is you want to do and what it is maybe that you're doing that you don't want to keep doing. So I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
perfect timing for it. I mean, did you do theater through high school?
No, I kind of wish I did. I like I grew, I don't know, the high school I went to was more sports focused,
Oh,
and it was not that it matters, but it was really not cool to do theater in my high school. Um and that group of people was very kind of outside of the fray.
right, right.
Um
I think that happens sometimes, especially at
yeah.
sports oriented schools. That can happen.
Yeah, like the other high school that I was maybe going to go to, both public schools, was big into theater, and it was cool to do theater there. And their theater production they did every year wasn't just in their school, it was in like an actual real theater. So that probably would have been the better one to go to. But oh
Well,
well.
I think it's impressive that you came to acting late and you're doing so well with it.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I think like for example, working on the holiday shift, like a lot of those actors have been doing it for a very long time. And you see just how um, just after doing it for so many years, how kind of second nature it is for them.
Right.
Whereas like I still need to
Well,
put some effort.
so do they know that you're a little inexperienced, or have you been fooling them the whole time?
I mean, I'm not completely inexperienced. Like I've done less than them, but I've done a lot more than a lot of people, but less than them.
I think
If
you've
that makes
done actually really well for the amount of time you've been in it, because
Yeah,
I know
particularly
you got to
yeah,
do like the lead in that Sugar Highs. You play
yeah,
Bud and
yeah,
you've had a couple of seasons now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So like I've um yeah, the last couple of years have been pretty good. Um
Not easy getting a lead role in anything, let
no,
alone a series
exactly.
that actually has multiple seasons. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's a great show. It's not super like in terms of scale, I would say it's like medium scale. Like it's not as big as like, for example, a Netflix show or something, but a lot of people watch it. I get lots of messages about it. And obviously it did well enough to get a second season, maybe a third. So but yeah, playing a lead on a show, especially a show with a not mega budget, it's really good experience because you're getting kind of the maximum workload because you're filming a lot all at once.
Right.
You're not getting a ton of breaks. Like it's ironically working on something high budget could be easier than something that has less of a budget because it's more condensed. And you're really kind of like in like almost like an athlete. Like it's quite grueling, but it's a really good experience.
Well, and I'm assuming on something smaller, you might actually learn more, because there
Yeah, you
could be
learn
some time
more.
to teach a little bit, maybe with a smaller role.
Yeah, I think you learn more, and I think as a lead, it's like it can be quite jarring, like your first day, and you're looking around at all the people working, and even though something like that, the crew is like definitely smaller than like a huge production. It's still at least like 50 people, right? So you're looking around at like all these people, and like
It's
it's
it's kind of resting on
dependent.
your shoulders.
Exactly, and that moment can be really scary. So it's better that like that was my first lead versus like my first lead being like something with 200. I don't know. I don't think any
It's a
show
good
has
that's a
200.
good one to start on. I,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is it. I know you direct a little bit. Have they approached you to direct an episode yet?
No, I mean, I offer input and I definitely have like a little bit of creative agency, but I would say the writer director of that, Tom, he he's very much like I think any project he has is like a baby to him. So it's like it's very like it's his thing.
It's
Like
personal.
it's more personal. And I think like you can you can discuss ideas with him. You can throw ideas around about future plots and stuff. But in terms of directing, no.
Yeah. You've
I don't
done
know. I
some of
could
your own
always ask.
stuff
I have
though, right? You've
pardon?
done some of your own stuff and got to write and direct.
Yeah, I've written and produced my own short film called Still Got It, and then I've written a series that's sort of it's in development. I've got a showrunner that I'm working with, and we're finding a home for it. And then
It's kind of
yeah,
cool when you can say, "Yeah, I got a script in development."
it is cool. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you could always have like scripts that you've like made, like written and aren't doing nothing with,
Yeah.
but like that one is actually in development. Like I have somebody involved, signed documents. You know what I mean? It's more
Yeah. I
legitimate.
mean, that to me, that's it. Once you start writing, I mean, that's exciting but kind of nerve wracking. But then the actual trying to find something to do with it, that's the hard part. And if you've got to the
Yeah.
point where it's being developed a little bit, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it comes to fruition. It's a 6 episode series that I've written, and it's more or less like Spice Girls meets RuPaul's Drag Race and the movie Tu Wong Fu from the 90s. It's like kind of friendship, drag queens.
I was gonna say, I think I have to see this now because that's quite the combination you're putting together, but
Yeah,
good combination. Like all that's good.
exactly. I think anybody who hears that combination is like, oh, I want to see that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it will come to fruition. It's just a matter of when.
Well, we're putting it out there.
Yeah.
It hurt to put the, out there into the universe, a little positive
If
vibe.
any networks are listening,
Yeah, let's get it done.
let's get it done.
Call in right now. We'll do it right here on the show.
Exactly.
So tell me about the holiday shift. What's the show about? I know it's to do with the holidays, but what's it about? What's your character's role in it?
For sure. So the show is about the intersecting love stories of employees that work at a mall in a fictional place called Love, Ohio.
That's
So
Ohio is my neighbor, right? In West Virginia, Ohio's
really?
right there on the border with us. So that
In Virginia?
in West Virginia, so we're surrounded by Virginia,
Oh,
Ohio,
because you're west. I always
Kentucky.
imagine west being
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, we're right there. So
Oh,
yeah, if uh if I can help with the dialect, you let me know.
okay. Sounds good.
You need some accent help, I could probably help with that.
Perfect. I mean, yeah, I think everyone sounds pretty kind of standard American or like natural
Yeah.
in the show.
Well, in
It
Ohio,
was, it was
it's strangely enough, Ohio, um, some people have very thick accents. Others are more like LA, where there's no real, you can't really tell an accent, which is weird because in this area, especially West Virginia, Kentucky, with that, we have, you can tell I've got a thick accent, but a
you
lot of
do.
Ohio doesn't. That is kind of strange. So my point there is you could pretty much put anything in there and it'd be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, exactly. So it takes place in a town called Love, Ohio, and there's quite a few love stories. But there's basically a queer lead named Deonte,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of like the Ebenezer, starts out as kind of like the Ebenezer Scrooge when it comes to love. And then in the second episode, well, I guess I shouldn't spoil too much, but basically I'm his love interest, and it
Is
changes
that your
everything.
episode? Do you come in on two?
Coming on two, and then I become part of the friend group in episode 4 and 5.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll be watching episode two tonight. We'll get
Oh,
and
great.
watch. Yeah, we're doing Thanksgiving prep starting tonight, so
Oh,
we'll be watching as we're kind of putting our we'll do like the baking starting tonight.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
3 days.
production. It takes a couple days of prep for Thanksgiving. Thankfully
Wow.
I don't have to do very much. I have cultivated this that I can't cook to the point
Oh,
that
okay.
my wife does not put much pressure on me to do much more than, maybe chopping or cutting or something.
Okay. So you're pretending to be bad so you don't have to do anything.
Don't tell her.
Okay.
No, I could be pretending. I suspect I'm actually bad.
Okay. I mean, you never know.
You never know.
I'm a really good cook.
Are you really? See, I think that's a skill that should be easy, but it's never been easy for me. Like, I've got a few dishes that I can make and I'm pretty good at, but just in
Okay.
general, I'm not a very good cook.
Yeah, it's for me, it's hard to imagine not being good at cooking because then I just think, how do people eat? If
Are
like, what do they
you
eat?
better at the cooking or the baking?
So I would say when I was younger, like as a kid, I baked a lot.
Yeah.
Um, like starting around age 10. I'd say as an adult, I cook way more. Um, I've made some amazing like baked things before, and I feel like that's what my family and whoever knew me for. But um, yeah, I don't know. I have an okay kitchen here, but I miss like in my parents' kitchen when I was growing up, there's a bit more space and
Right.
you know,
Well, there's
if
something nostalgic about your parents' kitchen too.
yeah, and you know it really it's very second nature, so you just like move really quickly, like boom, boom. I'm now luckily at the point with my current kitchen where I am able to like move more quickly and I do hope one day to have like an actual home with like a bigger kitchen and
Well,
really get into
that's the dream. You have the starter kitchens until you're ready for your full on kitchen, and then you can
yeah.
start hosting for parties and
Yeah.
holidays and all that stuff.
Yeah, here's hoping.
So your character on the holiday shift does he have any baggage? Is he hiding something? Is he bringing drama to the situation? What kind of character is?
No, it's like especially if you compare it to a character like Bud in Sugar Highs, it's very low drama, like almost no drama. The only yeah, there's kind of no drama. It's just sort of like they meet, it's love at first sight, and then they're together.
So we get it.
It's
We get a happy ending.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
it's a kind of it's a different, like it's interesting with like for LGBTQ characters, oftentimes there's kind of two directions you can go with it. You can either like incorporate whatever chip on their shoulder they might have from their life experiences,
Sure.
or in some scripts you might, especially holiday things, I find like Hallmark as well. Um, it's sort of like envisioning a world where like homophobia and racism doesn't exist.
Right.
So you're kind of just the character and you're part of
I mean, we
everybody's all.
get there eventually, right? We should
I
be able
hope
to get
so.
to that point. I mean, we're slowly kind of maybe being pulled along to that direction, but eventually we get there, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
Cross our fingers.
But I think you notice that like with the show, it is pretty just like very inclusive and there's all kinds of love. There's even like a polyamorous female character and
I think it's
um
kind of great that we're to the point that we're at least getting some programming that's highlighting those type of characters, because it's not like they don't exist. They're out there everywhere and they've been so
yeah,
underrepresented.
totally. Yeah. And like, you can't take it for granted. Like I remember, I think because it's not my first LGBTQ role, um, sometimes I do take for granted that like these roles exist and whatever. And it was actually when we were filming this like very special like love scene, um, the assistant director who was helping motivate the background
Yeah.
talent, he was kind of like, like you guys come on, like this is important, like kind of he was motivating them by helping point out that like a queer love story is not something you see every day and to
It
help.
actually is a really good point. You don't want to phone it in. You want to do really well so that people seeing it will be like, oh yeah, We need to
Yeah,
keep
well, and I think yeah, and it was not at us, it was the background actors who kind of he just wanted them to be more energized and I mean they always want that's usually what people want, but he was motivating them by reminding them of the importance of the story.
yeah, yeah. That makes complete sense to me
Yeah.
with that. So, what's your feeling on? What's your gut telling you? Are we going to get more episodes at some point?
I hope so. It seems like it's gotten a really good response. I
Yeah.
hope I'm in the future of the show. It depends.
Well, I think it's like I know here it's showing on Roku. That's
Yeah,
probably a good sign because they're really just getting their programming kind of up and going. More likely, I think that they invest in something new.
absolutely. Yeah. And if you don't have a ton of it's similar with like Sugar Highs, it's like
Yeah.
Out TV has a lot of shows that they um distribute and like have from other like partner with or whatever.
Right.
And a lot of it is non-scripted, but they don't have that many Out TV scripted originals. So for them, like Sugar Highs is like successful. It's something that's theirs.
I
Um,
mean, every
and so
network or streamer, that's what they want. They want their own programming that they can
exactly
they say
right.
we're making this ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think similarly, it's like for Roku, I imagine this show, really good response, scripted. Um, it's really good chemistry. Like we all had so much fun making it. So, and I think that translates on screen. Like everybody, the chemistry is really good.
Is it easier on you not being the lead? Is it easier to come in and film your scenes but not be responsible for, the main part of the story? Or is that would you prefer being the
I
lead?
would, I mean, they're different. Like I think in a way, it's obviously it's a lot less work. Like um, I think I can't remember.
It's kind of like getting promoted at a job with that. It's obviously it's going to be more work, but you want the extra work because you're like you'd have the bigger role.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think Sugar Highs, it's like a bigger role on a smaller show. Holiday Shift, it's like a smaller role on a bigger show. It's still like it's a recurring role, so I'm like
No,
pretty
it's a good
prominent.
role. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still prominent in it, and my character is really important to the plot. In terms of like dialogue, I definitely have like I'm important, but I'm you're sort of just getting like a bit of a taste of him. Like you're not getting
Well, it's more of an ensemble, with
totally
that.
exactly. So
So
like with
you have to
one
get
quote
time for everybody.
exactly, and there's a lot of there's six leads, right? So there's like a lot
Right.
of different storylines happening. So which is good because there's so much room to move forward if there are future
Well,
seasons.
that's it. Yeah, they're kind of setting it up. If they want to keep going, they got all these
Yeah,
storylines to work with.
yeah. There's like a zillion possible dynamics. So yeah, I would say, I mean, I like being the lead because I would say when you're a lead, it almost feels more like a management position. It almost feels like you're like a business partner to the show. Like, and oftentimes these days, a lot of the big movies like Barbie or whatever, like the lead is actually literally a producer. So they are a business partner.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty common anymore.
Yeah.
The lead being a producer, at least.
Yeah. So even if you aren't, like, you still just you feel very essential and integral. And I think at first it can be intimidating, but then it can also be quite motivating because you feel kind of like I mean, you feel like a lead, you feel like a leader. And if you step into that, it can feel pretty empowering. I would say though that like it was luxurious to just kind of like go to work and have like a couple lines of dialogue. And I still like, I did all my usual like character preparation and stuff, but um there wasn't, you know, it was luxurious to just go in, have fun with everybody, chat with the friends on set, go and do a scene, hang out more if I
When
wanted.
when you leave the house, are you already in character, or do you wait till you get there and then like, okay, now I'm going to put this face on?
Definitely when you get there, but I would say, like when you're working on something, you're more omnipresent with like what you think the character is. And I would say like on Sugar Highs, for example, because it's every day, all day, I definitely start to become more like the character. I notice like when I'm chatting with like I remember like the season one of it, there was a couple times where I felt like I was giving people like the wrong idea of who I was because I think I was acting like kind of bratty and like kind of like my character, like more demanding and maybe more, yeah, bratty. And then I was like, oh wow, like I think I like that's a part of my personality somewhere, but
Yeah.
that's not normally how I like socialize and interact with people. And I don't mean that I was rude or anything, but I just sort of was like a lot sassier and yeah, I guess really channeling that side of
I
myself a
mean,
lot.
not that I could act, but if I did, I could totally see me like walking out of the house and be like, I'm in character. So if I stop anywhere, get gas, coffee, or anything, I'm interacting like I'm the character on the show. I could totally see me doing that. I'd probably drive people crazy.
I think it's good practice to do that, especially if there's like an accent.
Oh yeah. Now that I could see, because yeah, the more you practice it, the better you're gonna be at it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was just traveling and I when I when I was in the UK, I was kind of trying to like practice an accent there, but the region I was in, the accent was quite specific. It's not an easy accent, and I kept doing it and getting looks.
They're like, something's not right.
They're like, okay. Uh yeah, it was embarrassing but fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Is there a genre that you haven't done that you would like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so far stuff has leaned more comedic. Um, I yeah, I think drama. I think drama would be quite cool. Psychological thriller would be quite cool. I
Yeah.
feel like when I went to acting school, I feel like a lot of my classmates knew me for like being really good at being intense. Um, so I
Yeah, that could be
think
good with the thriller or like a horror movie too.
yeah, exactly. Um, and it's interesting because I hate violence in real life and I hate even watching violence,
Same.
but I think I could enjoy acting it, ironically.
That's one of those
Um,
movies you do and then you don't really watch.
yeah, like I think I would enjoy acting it. Like I think it would be fun to like chase someone or like whenever I'm odd. Like there's some auditions I've done for like really villainous roles, and I've been like, that was really good on
Yeah.
me. But yeah, watching it, I don't know. I don't like too much gore.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I don't mind being scared. But I don't
Hmm.
like the gore or just violence for violence sake. I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, me neither.
But scary. I'll take scary.
Scary's good. I recently I realized I hadn't ever watched any of the scary movies, and I started watching them, and I I know they're not considered very like highbrow, but I love all the like Marlon Wayans
Oh, they're
2000s
funny.
movies. They're all funny. They're like definitely not super politically correct now, but they also in a way like they were at a time where like they weren't very politically correct, but they also like introduce concepts at least
That's right.
that
That's
like
right.
were new to people. So in a way it does move the needle even if it's not where the needle is now.
Well, that's right. And that was intentional, I'm sure, at the time.
Yeah.
They're like, well,
Yeah.
let's at least get the idea of it out there, even if they're not
Exactly.
committed to, actually casting somebody in that type of role yet. I
Exactly.
mean, it's hard to believe, but those movies, it was like 20 years ago or so when they started.
At least. Yeah, I think it's 2000. And it was funny because I didn't know that they were filmed here. And
That is
um
funny.
and a lot of things film here, but I just assumed that one didn't. And then there's a scene where they're by a pier and it says Steveston Pier. And I was like, oh,
You knew that, Peter.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that so many American cities were filmed in Vancouver.
Still,
New
yeah.
York, especially, it's not actually New York, it's Vancouver. I didn't realize that until I started doing this podcast. And there's quite a few, and not just New
Yeah.
York, but that's probably the biggest one.
I think New York, Seattle, I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I've lived in New York, so I can I can kind of see the similarities. I mean, New York obviously has like way more
Right.
building, but if you're just looking at a bunch of tall buildings in a dense area, we've definitely got that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it and say it's New York and everybody be like, okay.
Yeah. There's even I'm not sure what it was, but I remember walking through Vancouver and they were doing it as London, which I haven't seen that much.
Okay.
And they had some sort of like a double-decker bus. So that was cool.
See, it's London. We've got a double decker bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. The show looks amazing and is after one
Thank
episode.
you.
Haven't seen you yet, but I'll send you a note after tonight's.
Actually watch it. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right. We'll let you know. I'm sure it's going to be great. We really enjoyed the first one. It was
First episode.
a good one to watch at the end of the night because it had some comedy in it and it kind of relaxing, for bed. It was good.
It's definitely not a stressful watch. It's fun, it's happy, it's pretty light.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So a couple things, Adam, before I let you go. Anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Yeah, so if you want to watch season 1 of Sugar Highs that is currently out, you can watch it directly on Out TV.
Okay.
You can also watch it through Amazon, Roku, or Apple TV. There's all three have an Out TV add-on. It's pretty, I think it's only $2.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's cheap.
It's really cheap, and there's a free trial. Season 1, I've been told, will come out in March, or season 2 will come out in March.
Yeah. Just in
With
time, you finish season 1, it'll be time for season 2 to be on there.
Exactly, yeah. I'm excited to see season 2 just because it felt like a really good season. And then yeah, Holiday Shift is out now. And I have a bilingual project that's coming out in Canada, but I don't know if it would be available in the US.
Yeah, you speak French?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good. Very good. All right, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, absolutely. So on Instagram, which is what I would use the most, it's Adam Fox Official. I don't use Twitter a ton, but Adam Fox Official as well. TikTok, it's adam.fox92, which I'm actually today I've committed to like trying to make some sort of tick. I'm really new to it.
At least you're on there. That's the first step. TikTok's intimidating.
It is. I feel like it just makes me feel old. Like I'm just like I just look at it and I'm like, how does this work? Like
I know they're
how
so
long?
talented on there.
Yeah, it feels like every video I see, it looks like it would have taken hours to make, and that doesn't appeal to me, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then I mean, I don't know if people follow on Facebook, but yeah.
But some of us old guys
Adam,
do.
yeah, I think you can search Adam Fox on there as well.
Yeah. Well, Adam, open invitation. Whenever you need to come back or you have a new project, just holler. We'll get you back on.
Oh, amazing. I would love that.
Yeah, this has been terrific. Hold on one second. Those of you that have been watching or listening to the show for a while know that we love to highlight up and coming actors that we run across that we think are really talented. Adam fits that bill. Just a really talented actor, especially for somebody that came to it a little late. He does such a great job. I didn't mention that he had an appearance as the husband on Riverdale. I was telling him offline that we saw that episode. He was really good in it, but he was. Please check out the Holiday Shift. It's on the Roku channel currently. It's 5 episodes. I've seen the first one, is really good. Adam shows up in episode 2 and then is on throughout the rest of the season. Really, really good. So please support that if you can. Out TV, He is starring in Super Highs as Bud. He's the lead. Really good as well. For a lower budget show, you won't miss any of the bells and whistles. It's really well written. It's funny. Dialogue's good. So definitely check that one out as well. If you don't get Out TV, Amazon offers it as an add-on. It's a couple bucks. It's pretty cheap. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. Really appreciate that. And don't take you for granted. I say that a lot on this podcast. We're just a father and son team, small town, West Virginia. We're doing this all on our own and kind of learning as we go. And at some point, for some reason, you guys, the show took off, and we're so thankful. We're grateful for that. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, they recently named us a top 100 podcast. Well, there's 15 million podcasts to choose from, so getting named to an entertainment sites or the entertainment sites top 100 list, really big deal for us. If you would like to support us, there's a couple easy ways to do it. They're free. You can go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just that traffic on our page really helps us out. You can go to our YouTube channel, MeisterCon Pod, and subscribe. That would also help us out. Both of those are free ways that you can help us. We'd really appreciate that. We're closing in on 700 episodes. You can see all of them, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. That'll let you know if we're doing anything in studio, like watching a holiday shift, if we're going on location, covering a convention. Anything we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Two Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, You know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes. We've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.